What's up, everybody? Move the sticks. DJ, Bucky. Look, we're two former scouts, but just for today, let's go ahead and slap our GM hats on, nice and snug. Making trades in the NFL is unlikely; it doesn't happen very often. When it does, it creates some excitement and some buzz. So I'm going to give you a couple players here. Let's see if we could find a home for maybe a trade that would make sense for both parties. Vernon Davis, tight end, 49ers. Where could he go?
I'm sending him to Broadway. I'm sending him to New York to play with the New York Jets to upgrade what they have in the middle of the field. I like the pieces on the outside. Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker, both guys have played well in the system. Devin Smith has come on and given them kind of that vertical threat. Vernon Davis is the missing piece in terms of being a guy that can make plays in the middle of the field. You can spread him out in that Chan Gailey system. Ryan Fitzpatrick could use him for some of those easy throws. I think Vernon would be an upgrade over what they have currently at the position, would help them continue to become more dynamic, and even help the young quarterback eventually when he gets on the field in Geno Smith.
I'm going to keep him in the Bay Area, Buck. I'm going to send him to the Oakland Raiders, and I like the pieces, the young pieces they have in place on that offense. You talk about Derek Carr, Amari Cooper, Latavius Murray in the backfield, and I even like the young tight end Clive Walford out of the University of Miami. But why not give him a mentor in Vernon Davis? Like, he's past his prime. I get it. He's not the same guy we saw early in his career, but I do think he can still stretch the seam. He can provide you another weapon along the interior there when you're attacking defenses. I think Vernon Davis to the Raiders would make some sense, but I want to hit you now on a different play. I want to go to the running back position. Matt Forte and the Chicago Bears coming off a big win over the Kansas City Chiefs, but let's just assume, just for kicks and giggles here, that he was available. What team would make sense?
The team that he just put a loss on. I'm going to say the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs lose Jamal Charles. They're looking for someone that can carry the load, someone who also can make contributions in the passing game. Matt Forte is one of the best who ever done it in that capacity. He's a guy that can run inside and outside, but he really catches the ball well out the backfield. And if you know anything about Andy Reid, he loves to feature his backs. Did it when he had Brian Westbrook, continues to do so when he has Jamal Charles. Now that they don't have that pivotal playmaker, Matt Forte makes a lot of sense. I think he'll be good in the red and white.
Look, I know the Dallas Cowboys already made a move. They brought in Christian Michael, and you see him get some play time here coming up, I believe, after the bye. But let's be honest, Matt Forte is on a whole nother level than what they would get out of Christian Michael, Joe Randall, whoever else they want to throw in there, Darren McFadden. I think he could maybe sneak out a win or two the Cowboys would need in order to hold down the fort before Tony Romo and Dez Bryant show back up. To me, the Dallas Cowboys would make some sense.
No, they do make a lot of sense. They're desperately in need of a running back. They need someone who can tote the mail, someone who can really carry that offense until Tony Romo comes back. Forte would be a good fit in that.
All right, you're Scott McLuhan, a guy you know, a guy you used to work with. rgIII, team makes sense?
rgIII, if I'm Scott McLuhan, I'm going to call one of my former bosses, Ted Thompson, in Green Bay and see if I can move him. In Green Bay, they have a fascination with bringing in former #1 picks. They believe that the talent is there. Let's see if they can do something to work with him. Mike McCartney does a great job of building up quarterbacks. You saw the work that he did with Brett Hundley in the preseason. I think rgIII is a similar project. Let's teach him to play the quarterback position the right way. There wouldn't be any pressure. Aaron Rodgers is the man. Let's build him up. You got a quality backup, maybe someone that you can use as a trade asset down the line. But I think the way they do things in Green Bay, I think it would be the perfect stopping point for rgIII to be set up for his next spot.
Look, you need to take the pressure off rgIII, and a place to go alleviate some pressure is a place I grew up in. That's San Diego, California. Send him to the San Diego Chargers. Let him sit behind Phillip Rivers. He can learn the same type of situation you're talking about. But you talk about the media, the lifestyle on the West Coast. I think it'll be good for him. Just let him exhale a little bit. Let him breathe. Let him develop on the practice field. And if you're the Chargers, Phillip Rivers getting a little bit older. The back, how long is that going to hold up? Maybe you have somebody that could eventually replace him, or you have a trade chip.
Also, coaching. Mike McCoy does a great job of crafting his game plans and tailoring his playbook to the skills of his quarterback. We saw what he did with Tim Tebow. I was with him in North Carolina when we had Jake Delhomme become a guy that led us to the Super Bowl. He is flexible and adaptable. He can take rgIII, find a way to get some of that production out of him.
All right, we've given you 3 players there. We're going to have a fourth, but we're going to turn it over to our producer, TD. Leave this one up to you, TD. You got a player you want to ship out? Got some ideas for us?
My favorite player is not having his best season so far. Calvin Johnson, man. Let's find him a new home. I'm going to go with the Seahawks. Their first big trade didn't work for him. Maybe the second one would. Who would you guys What team would you guys like to see Calvin go to?
So TD wants to send his favorite player to his favorite team. Big shock, Bucky. How about you? Where do you send
I'm
Calvin
going to say
Johnson?
Tennessee, and I'm going to say the Tennessee Titans because, A, he can reconnect with his old wide receiver coach, Sean Jefferson. He also can help a young passer, and Marcus Mariota, continue to develop. Early in his career, Marcus Mariota needs a guy that he can depend on, a guy who can expand the strike zone. I like what they have in DGB, Dorial Green-Beckham. Why not bring Calvin Johnson to show both guys how to play in a professional manner, how to make dominant plays on the perimeter, particularly DGB? I like that matchup, having two twin towers. I think that'll help Marcus.
I think that might be the best one, and I like the Sean Jefferson connection there as well. I'm going to give you another team just because I don't want to say the same as you, Buck. I'm going to go Kansas City Chiefs, and this is a Chiefs team. Jeremy Maclin has done a nice job over the last few weeks. We're starting to see him come on. I believe he's on pace for over 100 catches at this point in time, but they need more weapons. I know everybody can say Alex Smith in the quarterback position could use some improvement, but you get a guy like Calvin Johnson, put him opposite Jeremy Maclin in an Andy Reid system, man, he would make quite a difference. I mean, look, Calvin Johnson's not what he was. He'd make a difference for any team out there.
No, he's still a difference maker. He's definitely not what he was, but he still can come in and make big plays down the field and in the red zone. Needs to find someone that throws the ball to him and not to the other team. That's the biggest problem with him in Detroit.
Yeah, and the other thing maybe with Kansas City that would bring me pause, Calvin's probably going, I want to get down the field, something the Kansas City Chiefs haven't done too well. But look, me and Bucky sitting here talking about some potential trades. We talk about a lot more twice a week on Move the Sticks. You can check it out, YouTube, iTunes, as well as NFL.com/podcast.